Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. I'm your host, Jalen Walker. We have a lot to unpack today, as always. Glover Teixeira, what a legend. Glover came through and submitted Thiago Santos at the age of 41. Glover wants his shot at the title, but will Adesanya be up next to challenge Jan, forcing the veteran to wait? We don't know yet. Also, Conor McGregor has recently come out and said he regrets not fighting Tyron Woodley to possibly become the triple champ. And this was before the Mayweather fight. Interesting story there. We'll break that down. Also, Leon Edwards has some harsh words for Dana White and Khamzat, stating to Dana, "I'm going to smash your boy." That fight between Leon and Khamzat will be the final fight of 2020. We'll also break down this past week of Dana White's Contender series. In non-MMA related news, ESPN's #1 pound-for-pound ranked boxer Terrence Crawford defends his WBO welterweight world title tonight against Kell Brook at the MGM Grand inside the top-ranked bubble. Great fight card tonight. Paul Felder stepping in on 5 days' notice to fight Rafael Dos Anjos. We'll break it all down and much, much more. But first, support for Pound MMA podcast comes from Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Are you looking for the perfect gift for your partner this holiday season? We have the perfect package for his perfect package. The Perfect Package 3.0 by Manscaped is the #1 recommended gift all year long. Inside, you'll find their Lawnmower 3.0, which is the best men's below-the-belt grooming trimmer, which can be also used on any part of the body. Hairy chest or back? Look no further. Hair down there? The Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 is designed to reduce cuts and make for smooth trims. This 7,000 RPM trimmer has helped reduce manscaping accidents around the world. In addition, you'll find other liquid formulations inside the Perfect Package like Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver, Ball Toner, and Reduce Chafing Boxer Briefs. These formulations are all vegan-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, so you know your manhood is in good hands. Save 20% with code pound at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code pound at manscaped.com. Give your testes the besties with Manscaped. All right, thank you, Manscaped. My guest on the show today is a dynamic lightweight who holds a 6-2 pro record. He has fought out of Gladiator champ and King of the Cage. He recently competed on Dana White's Contender series 2 weeks ago at the Apex Arena in Las Vegas. I'd like to introduce to the podcast Edson Gomez. How's it going, brother?
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for talking to me. Just very interesting in your career and your experiences so far in the sport of MMA. So you fight out of combined martial science. Who's your coach and who are some of the other fighters coming out of that gym right now?
The coaches there, it's Chris Lee, Josh Allen, which is the owner of the gym, and his dad is Tony Allen. They've been my coaches for a very long time, but specifically in my corner, Chris Lee and Josh Allen are the younger guys, and I've had them since my amateur days. Nobody else, when I first started fighting, no one was really fighting at the time from that gym, so I had to put everything together, get them in my corner, and then they take off in there. But they're really knowledgeable, and especially Chris Lee. He loves MMA. Like he analyzes it, he studies it, and he's a really great coach. Some of the fighters there, it's right now there's a lot of amateurs that want to start fighting. Another pro pro guys. Actually, one of my first King of the Cage matches. His name's Ricky Flamante. I fought him at King of the Cage, and I invited him over to the gym. So, the more the merrier, Sharp iron sharpens iron. They always say, and so I wanted to get people that I think would help out the gym, help everybody out. So called him over. He fights out of there now, and there's a few other amateurs coming up. 45ers, 155ers. Their kickboxing is really good. They're learning everything as they go.
That's awesome, and you've pioneered a lot of that, being there so early on, and being there to set up that MMA, I say, formula for that gym. That's pretty cool, and that must be awesome to see all these guys coming up, and you be able to help them out. That's awesome, man. So where is Combined Martial Science located? Technically,
Combined Martial Science is in Chino, California.
Okay, awesome,
It's
awesome.
yeah, there's dairy farms kind of around there. It's not too many. It's not too many gyms around the area, so it's probably one of the most popular ones.
Awesome. That's super cool. What do you guys, just wondering, I don't know why I'm asking this, what do you guys do out there for fun?
Oh, don't think. I don't live in Chino.
Okay.
It's probably like a 20-minute drive from
Yeah,
me.
okay, 20 minutes in that area.
But yeah. I live north of it. I live closer to the mountains. But I mean, everything. We have, the LA County Fair. I mean, not now, but
Yeah.
it's super close. It's right here in Pomona. A lot of people don't think it's like in LA somewhere, but it's actually in, the Fairplex in Pomona. It's
That's
a
interesting.
15-minute drive for me
Oh, wow.
as well. We do that. We have, everything. It's hiking, a lot of hiking. I love the outdoors. So we do a lot of hiking, backpacking. We're away from Big Bear, so
Oh,
it's just we're pretty much 2 hours, 3 hours away from almost everything. Desert, mountains, beaches,
that's super cool.
everything.
Yeah, anything you want to do, any variety, you can just pick. Oh, let's just head that way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Your high school wrestling coach is actually one of the coaches of Combined Martial Science, but you didn't actually wrestle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What was
Yeah,
his
that's
name?
correct.
Is that the same coach you were just talking about, or is that a different guy?
No, actually, he had they had he moved to a different gym
Okay.
recently, not too long ago. But his name is Emery Clay. Him and his brother James Clay. James Clay is a phenomenal grappler. I think he has like a gold medal for like the U.S. grappling team. Um, and I learned a lot from them when it comes to grappling. He got me into it. Yeah, he was my wrestling coach. I didn't wrestle. I wish I would have, but yeah, he's awesome. He'd always be one of the people that I always give credit to. Got me started in MMA for sure.
Awesome. So, as mentioned, you didn't wrestle in high school. You actually played soccer. When did you start playing soccer, and for how long?
Oh man, I probably started playing soccer. Excuse me. Probably around 5 years old. I would say. When you start with
Yeah.
ASO and see if you like it, if you'll be good at it. And then from then on, my whole family plays. Like I said before, I'm one of five. I'm the oldest, and everybody plays. Even my mom played in like women's leagues, and
That's awesome.
and my dad too. Like everybody. My grandpa was actually a professional soccer player, so that's how we grew up. Really into soccer. My whole family in soccer. I played 4 years in high school. And it's the same season as wrestling. That's the only reason. If not, I think I probably would have wrestled.
Yeah. I played soccer most of my life. I played in high school, and then just in college, I just did a small little organization we had, just a little club. Like we all met Wednesdays, pick teams. But yeah, it's a great sport. Gets people around, keeps you energized, and then of course indoor soccer, which I miss indoor a lot. I miss indoor soccer. That was
Oh
always a
man.
good time. Sunday nights, just go to the what was it, Tri County Sportsplex.
Oh really?
Yeah, I miss
Yeah.
it.
It's indoors. Indoor is a really crazy beast too. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't know, but they think because the field's smaller, it's
Oh,
like hockey.
so much
It's
more
like hockey
competitive
with
too.
cleats. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. The ball's going at a faster speed. You're close quarters. You're just, yeah. We have actually 5 minutes from my house. I think the Upland Sports Arena.
Nice.
We played there. We always have a team there, but I have to kind of watch out because
Yeah.
you get hurt a
Oh
lot.
yeah,
Catches
you got to
thunder,
be
especially in
someone
the
to throw you
turf.
against the
Yeah,
wall. Yeah, my friend,
yeah.
he got pretty much like half his ear torn off playing goalkeeper, in indoor. Some guy just stepped on his ear, and like he didn't realize what was going on, and we just saw blood, and he had to get out of there. Yeah, it's nuts,
Yeah,
man.
I've probably seen more fights in the indoor arena than in the actual gym, to be honest. People get so hostile
Yeah,
and
and then people are
they just want
drinking
to
on top
fight.
of
Yeah.
everything because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just a relaxed
exactly.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can get wild quick. Um,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get into one second. I lost my place. Here we go. Yeah. So your friend convinced you to take on MMA and trained at Combined Martial Science with no background in the sport at the time. What made you really want to take a full crack at mixed martial arts?
Um, I mean, I had a friend that I grew up with. We used to watch UFC all the time. His name's Chris Karubi. He's one of my really close friends. We grew up together, and we used to watch. We wouldn't miss any fights, and we used to have a group that would just watch fights. It wasn't that big at the time. I think when I was in high school. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some people would know, some people were like fans, but him and I, we did not miss a fight. And we used to watch fights, go to YouTube, watch videos, and then we used to try it in the backyard, like front yard, backyard, anywhere. Get itchy after, because of the grass. But yeah, and then he was a wrestler, so we used to go into the wrestling room, just work on moves, and we are just into it. We thought, like, how cool would it be to actually fight for a living, like get paid? Like, imagine being at the pinnacle of the sport, the UFC. That would be like a dream. We were in love with the sport. So yeah, we would practice it, and then when the other friend invited me to the gym, I said, here's my shot. I've been doing it in the
Yeah.
backyard. I've been doing, like underground boxing, kind of with like friends, people from
Yeah.
high school, just random people. Um, I've always liked contact sports. Football, like I said, I played football.
What position you play in football?
I was a running back and
Okay.
slot receiver.
How tall are you again? I
I
haven't.
just kicked. I'm 5'8".
Okay,
Yeah,
not too bad.
throughout
Yeah,
my whole high school. Yeah,
you could probably get
just
through those defensive lines easily. Just sneak through there and take off. You
yeah.
pretty fast?
I would say I'm average. I wouldn't say I'm,
At
I'm too
least you're
fast.
honest.
Um, yeah, I mean, all the sports that I played, basically, you have to run, but it's not my strength for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, but yeah, we would just practice, watch film. We used to, think we used to think we were the big deal,
Yeah.
um, until we actually went to the gym and you get a rude awakening quick. You get tossed around,
Yeah.
punk, but that's when it makes you or breaks you. Like either you like it or you don't. When you start
Exactly.
getting kicked and hit before, you've never felt that before, you realize like, okay, yeah, I like this or I don't.
Yeah, you got
And
you gotta get used to it. From what I hear, is like either uh, you're gonna be stunned by it at first, and you're just gonna walk away, or you're gonna be like, oh, I can take that. Give me some more. Let's see. Let's push me to my limit. Let's see how much I can take. And that's when you get those good fighters, those people with those good chins, and they want to take it to that next level, like Max Holloway and people like that. They're just asking for it, and I love that.
yeah, just engaging. Yeah,
Yeah.
all these guys. I look. I'm a big fan of every fighter. I mean, I have my favorites, but I respect and love everything because now I know what it takes, and a lot of people don't see that from outside. They just see like, oh, they're gonna fight today. They don't know everything that happens leading up to just the weigh-ins. That's
Yep.
probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
The lead up to the weigh-ins and before the fight, everything that happens before the fight is way harder than the actual fight
Yeah.
itself. A
And
lot less fun.
And what you're talking about, there's actually a short, like, it was an embedded, but they took the footage and they made like a short ESPN documentary. I think this was like 2 years. It was from the Amanda Nunes Cyborg fight, and it was about Cyborg trying to cut weight, stay in shape, get all of her training in. And one clip that really stuck with me was Cyborg. The sauna wasn't working or whatever, so they had to put her in a really hot tub of water. And I remember watching her get in that tub of water, and it was steaming. It's scorching. You can just tell, like, it's destroying her. And she just busts in tears, but she's just sitting there, taking it, just letting it happen because she knows that's what she has to do. And it's just, that's such an insane mindset just to be able to say, all right, body, I'm going to let these emotions out, but I'm going to have to, I have to endure this. And that happens in the ring all the time.
Yeah.
And
No, for sure. It happens. I actually have to give props to the girl fighters, because it does. You know, all that cutting weight, you know, you have to mentally prepare it. It affects you and it gets you emotional. You start thinking like, man, like, should I be doing this? Like, is it worth it? Like, you literally have to fight amongst yourselves, and you feel like you know, like your hormones are all out of whack, like a man period, basically, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why the women is like, sometimes it's even harder for them when they're in their menstrual state,
yep.
because
Especially for
their body
losing weight and other things like that.
yeah,
It can really
so
mess them up.
it's even harder for women. So I give them a lot of props, but
For sure.
yeah, it's really emotional. It's difficult, but you know, it's what it takes. You have to
Yep.
do it. You know.
Yep. It's a hard business. So I wanted to go back real quick to your high school days. So I heard you guys had underground boxing in the wrestling room. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we did. Actually, I forgot who started it. But I started bringing boxing gloves. Some other people that had boxing gloves would bring them, and they'd be like, "Hey, like, let's match people up, you know, like let's just do it." And you know, in high school, everybody doesn't like everybody. Like, there's a lot of tension, so we're like, what better way to handle it than having boxing gloves? And you know, in a controlled kind of environment, semi-controlled environment. But so we would go into the wrestling room, which is the safest place in case somebody got knocked out or
Yeah.
something. The mats were
I mean,
there
at least you
and
guys are
stuff.
thinking
So
about safety.
yeah, I mean, we started in the locker room, so that was
Oh, yeah, that's not a good
safe.
look.
So, so and then that's when I think the camera phones were like barely like getting okay.
Yeah.
This was like 2000, 2008, 2009,
Yeah.
2010.
Oh, yeah, you're close to me actually too. I graduated in
Yeah.
2013. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
around. I remember having my 3G iPhone or not iPhone, 3G Verizon phone that could get internet. And I remember I would record something and I could post it at school and I would be like, "Oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever." Were there any
exactly. Yeah,
fights? Was there any fights
sidekick.
recorded?
I had a sidekick. Was there any what? I'm sorry.
Was there any fights recorded on the phones?
Oh, everybody that had a camera phone we would get blint view. Someone would be up on top and just trying to record. Someone would be on the side, low view. Like, we had everything,
That's
you know, set
awesome.
up. We thought we were the real deal, but yeah, we would set fights up, and yeah, everybody. I mean, a lot of people would show up. They would hear about it, and we had like a secret knock too. You know, I still remember it that was the knock right there. And
Wait,
if you
what
didn't know
time
a
was
knock,
this? There was no janitors or anything. No one in the
oh
gym.
no,
No tea.
this is after school. Like
Everyone
this
just
is
left.
like they had sports and they wanted to
Okay.
see fights. They would stay after. We had football practice, so we
Okay.
would
Okay.
stay. The
Okay.
wrestlers, you know, but before coaches, janitors, any of those people were there.
Nice.
Until, you know, someone knocked on the door one time. Had to be a big fight. I think I was actually gonna fight. I was
Really?
gonna knock somebody, and we hear the knock, and it wasn't the correct knock. So my friend Chris and I, he says, "Hey, that's not the right knock. Like, try it again." They just keep slamming, like banging on the door. Like, that's not the right knock. They just keep banging on it. So he opens it. He's like, "Man, do you not know that?" And it was actually the coach, the wrestling coach.
Oh
So
no.
as soon as he came in, everybody just scattered everywhere. I had my gloves on, put them behind my
Oh
back, and
no.
because
You can't
he's
untie
not,
your
he's not,
gloves either.
yeah, you couldn't even take them off. So he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "You guys like to fight, huh? You guys want to fight?" He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, you guys want to fight? I'll let you fight. But you guys got to wrestle first. You guys got to
Yeah.
do my classes. You guys got." He wanted to get wrestlers, you know, and
Yep.
he's a really passionate wrestling coach, really just passionate coach in general, and yeah, he wanted everybody to wrestle, and everybody just ran out of the door. But I told him, you know, I wish, like, I want to wrestle, but You know, I grew up playing soccer. I
Yep.
love soccer. And if I could do both, I probably would have. But because I had a lot of friends that wrestled,
Yeah.
and I used to go in there and just move, wrestle, use a lot of strength, horrible technique. Um, but I did okay, wrestling. So he heard about me. My friends would tell him, and he wanted me to wrestle, but unfortunately, never got to. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of fun though.
Oh, it was a blast.
So you entered your first grappling tournament in San Diego a year after you started training at Combined Martial Science. What was the name of that tournament? How did you do?
It was grappling X in San Diego. It was at a high school. It was um, I think it was like after it was like $90 to like sign up or
Hmm.
something. And I remember I wasn't really too sure, so my coach, the main coach, Sensei Tony, he's like, just do it, just try it. I'll pay for you. If you don't like it, you don't have to do one again. And I was like, okay. Like I love grappling, so I was just like, but I was like nervous for the competition. I was like, this is actually like legit competition. So
Yeah.
it's not like the wrestling room back in the day. So, but I had felt like I had learned a lot. And so yeah, I went and they told me to go into they have, I guess, novice, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and like expert or something. They told me to go to intermediate, but everybody was doing like novice and beginners and stuff, and I was like, I want to do those.
Yeah.
It's my first one. Like he's like, no, just go intermediate, trust me. So I listened to my coaches. I went, and I think I had 3 or 4 matches, and yeah, I won all of them. So I
Nice.
got I got first place. So that got me excited.
Oh, I bet that must have been
Winning
awesome.
first place, I was just like, man, after a year of training, that's awesome, and that got me into it. But it still didn't fulfill me. It didn't
I feel
fulfill
that.
me at all. And yeah, so I just I wanted to fight. I
I
wanted
feel
to
it.
fight, and nobody there was fighting at the time. So I did my account secretly. Basically, it's in Camel, the California amateurs. I did my account. I went to go do my blood work,
And
and yeah,
this is also former referee Larry Landis helped you with that, correct?
correct.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
the
we
one
had a
that
lot of
guided you.
mutual friends.
Yeah, yeah, and he also went to your high school.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
a wrestler there. He went to high school,
Yep.
Mark Heppel, and yeah, he's. I know he's ref like many other places, but he's probably the most well known. He was there my very first fight. Too. He was actually the ref for my very first fight. So um,
It's
yeah,
cool.
he
Yeah,
guided
because
me, and
he showed you how to sign up, how to just do the blood work, how to just make sure you did everything right. So when the day came, you were prepared, and that's awesome that he reached out and helped you uh, do that
yeah,
and accomplish that.
because that's actually really hard. I was just trying to figure out, like, googling like how to get started in mixed martial arts. Like, there's nobody that would had like fights
Hmm.
around me that knew anything like that. So I spoke with a mutual friend. They connected me with Larry, and he told me I have to go to Camo and do all that stuff,
Yep.
and I got it done.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's super cool. So from the information I have, you went 4-0 as an amateur fighter, and you're currently 6-2 as a pro fighter. Are you 4-0 as an amateur fighter, or was I missing some fights?
No, yeah, I don't think they put all of them up there.
Yeah.
My very first fight, actually, as an amateur, I lost by like a split decision.
Okay.
Um, some guy, guy from the pit, actually, up north. I forgot his name. So but that got me pumped. I said, I'm pretty good with this guy. I want to get a win, and then the next time all these people signed up from our gym to fight all the amateurs. Actually, one of my coaches, Chris Lee. The reason I respect him so much is he's been in the cage. He actually signed up to fight as an amateur, and he had wrestling background and stuff, taekwondo. He signed up to fight in my one of my cards too. The next fight, my second amateur fight, we had like 6 fighters, I think, that day. Everybody signed up on Camel. Everybody, we're rolling. So we're like, cool, this is awesome. And I actually fought um, Shabazian, his older
Okay.
brother.
Oh, really?
Leon. His name's Leon. He was also in the Contender series.
Yeah,
He was my very second amateur fight.
really interesting. That's
Yeah,
super cool.
yeah. Shabazian. So Edmund was there wrapping his hands, and everybody knows him because of Ronda.
Yep,
So
yep.
we're there looking at
That-
him wrap his hands, and we're like, "Oh man, this is a real deal." He must be a real deal. Like tall kid. He's like 6'2" as well. He
Interesting.
was young. He was really young. So but yeah, and I beat him, pretty unanimous, and then from there, I was undefeated in my amateur career after that.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, so all six of your pro wins have come via KO TKO. And you made your pro debut in 2015 against Bentley Akpoko and won with an impressive TKO. What was that transition like for you from amateur to pro in 2015?
Oh man, it was exciting. It was definitely exciting. I was really nervous at the same time. Is I didn't know how to what to expect, especially seeing Bentley. I don't know if you've seen him before. He looks like a sculpture. He's ripped to the gills. And he's everybody. Everybody always thinks I'm gonna lose to these big guys, muscular guys. So I just don't let it get to my head. Just yeah, nervous but excited at the same time. Those are the feelings that I usually have.
And excitement. That's the next step. Going pro, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, there's tons of pro fighters, but it's not easy to get into a promotion of any sort. You gotta have a record. You gotta show that you're able to put people out or put on a show in drawing crowds. And you did that, with 6 TKOs. But after your pro debut, you didn't fight again for 3 years. What happened there?
Yeah, after that, it was my girlfriend at the time was pregnant,
Okay,
so
okay, okay.
I really had to figure out, you see, if I was gonna keep fighting, if because even at that pro level, with those shows, you don't make money. You don't really make too much money, and a lot of people don't know that you make a lot of money from ticket sales. And I sell a lot of tickets, but I never like really selling them to family and friends. All my supporters, I never upsell them to them. Like, you make a percentage if you sell them at this rate. I always sell them at the rate I get them for. So
Okay.
I make nothing out of it, because they're supporting me. I much rather have that than get the money from them.
I bet.
So I had to just work and be a dad. Learn to be a dad in the beginning, especially. It was really difficult. It's way harder than fighting for sure, but it's way more rewarding as well. Yeah, I just had to be a dad. So I had to step away for a bit until he was old enough so I could get back in the gym and,
For
and
sure.
start training again.
And that's totally understandable, and there's nothing wrong with that. In any return to competition, in 2018, you won 2 in a row, but your first pro loss came right after that in October of 2018 against Kevin Goodall. Do you remember much about that fight?
Yeah, I do. I do. I remember. There's no way I could forget that. Yeah, Devin. He's a tall guy. But he was like a pretty boy always. He's one of those that always posts with like shirts off and stuff like that. So I did take him. I did take him lightly. He's like uh, and I just didn't think his style was like anything, that would offer me any like trouble or anything like that. So, I trained regularly, but that day I remember that fight specifically. I had a bad weight cut.
Okay.
I cut 10 pounds I think the night before, so
Interesting.
to make the weight. So yeah, but I had never gone through it before like that. So I didn't think anything bad would come out of it. I just weighed in, and then we got into the fight. And after I think the first 2 minutes, I hurt him. And then I felt like my body just drained. Like my whole body just felt like it wasn't even there anymore.
Interesting.
And yeah, I just didn't know what was happening to me. My body was exhausted, but I kept fighting, surviving most of the time. I just didn't want him to finish me. I knew I didn't have anything left in my tank. But yeah, I mean, he didn't finish me. I survived 3 rounds. I got a good beating, but I learned a lot from that one. I learned a lot about for myself. I had just my will not to lose, not to give up. I learned that actually for me. I went 15 minutes being dead tired. I mean, so and he didn't finish me. He still had energy. So, but yeah, but he was a cardio machine. So
Interesting. Um,
yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So, most of your pro career, you've been fighting with Gladiator Challenge and King of the Cage. What have you taken away and learned, fighting with these promotions? And not to mention, you were also the super welterweight champ for King of the Cage.
Yeah. Well, like I started with the amateur. We used to fight in little hotels like Radisson hotels. We used to fight at I think it was the Lighthouse in Glendale. Um, it's where it seats like I think maybe like 800 people. Like it fits in the whole. It was like a restaurant, I think
Interesting.
too. So I fought like
It's a rest.
in
Wait,
stuff like
wait, wait,
that.
wait, wait. There was a restaurant in the place where you guys were fighting, like in the
I
same
think
room.
that's a restaurant. I think it's a restaurant.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
if you look it up.
wait, so if you came to have dinner, there's a table and then there's an octagon to your right, and then there's just
I think
fights
they
going
shut
on.
the whole thing down
Oh,
for the
okay,
fight,
okay.
but they
That
would rent
sounds
the whole place
awesome. I
out.
want to go to dinner there, man.
Yeah, it's a lighthouse.
It's like
Yeah,
a
that's
Hard
what it's
Rock
called, the
Cafe
lighthouse.
for MMA fights.
Yeah. You get a show.
Okay,
So going
okay,
from
okay,
going
okay.
to Gladiator Challenge, I went to Gladiator Challenge. I fought a few times there, like 3 times, I believe.
Nice.
Um, that we used to fight at the casino in Palm Springs in Agua Caliente, and that one seats like 2,500 people in there.
Yeah, some of these casino arenas can hold some people.
Yeah,
They
right.
host
And
concerts there and
so I
stuff
was like,
like that.
yeah. So I was just like, oh man, it's big time now. Like 2,500
Yeah.
people, like that's a lot of people. Like, and it was a big jumbotron. The walkout was different. The cage was cool. The crowd was wild. So you're like, okay, cool. Like this is better. And then I went to King of the Cage, and we fight at the what's now known as a Toyota Arena. It used to
Uh-huh.
be a Citizens Bank Arena, and that one seats like 10,000 people.
Really?
So that one was legit. Now your poster to be like on the freeway, right outside the arena, like everybody could see it. I would get calls like, "Hey, like I didn't know you were fighting." Like, yeah, and that's it's just like, oh man, it's getting bigger and bigger. And you walk out, you can hear the crowd. Like that one was super awesome. That one got me more used to it 'cause I used to get more interviews with that. You have to do some media with them, some filming, and yeah, they got me like more known to the aspect of cameras and interviews and being a
Yeah,
fighter as well.
exactly. Because
Yeah, so
some people probably go into it just thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll talk to the cameras, I'll let them know," and then they freeze. Like I've seen it sometimes, like some of those contender series, like those promos, and before you can tell that they were just super nervous, like for no reason, just because they've never seen a big red camera or they've never seen a boom mic hovered over them. They haven't seen these things, and they just don't put it into their mindset. And when they see it, they kind of do just freeze. But it's very interesting to see the difference between people that have gone through it, that have experienced it, and have practiced with it. I would say with the media in general. You got to be very careful with the media sometimes when you start rising up, because anything you say will be used against you.
absolutely, yeah, that's for sure.
Exactly.
You just got to get used to it, basically.
Yep. So you were supposed to fight with KOTC in April, but suffered a minor injury. That fight got rescheduled to June, but then, as we know, the pandemic really set in and shut everything down. How did that affect your mindset? And were you looking for other places to try to fight out of during the pandemic?
Yeah, actually, I had that. We're gonna fight for the welterweight title.
Yeah.
He was from
Okay.
like Oklahoma or Idaho or something like that. So they had it set up. was excited. I suffered a minor like foot injury that hindered my training and stuff. So I didn't want to take it like, halfway. Not prepared. So I just told him, I have to sit this one out, or if it gets rescheduled, whatever. The whole pandemic happened. They thought it was gonna last like a month maybe, so they rescheduled it to like a later date. From April to like June, I believe. And I was like, okay, I'll be ready by June. Like I could do that. And then everything got shut down.
Yep.
Or like what now? And throughout this whole
No one
time,
knew.
I've never had a manager, and anybody had anything like that. So I would speak to the promoters myself. King of the Caves, they weren't having anything special in California. So yeah, next move is actually my manager contacted me. He said, "Hey, like I've looked at your record. I would like to work with you, and I think we would go pretty good, And it was yeah, and I said, yeah, I've never had a manager. I don't know what he sent me like a contract and stuff like that. I had my coaches read it. They read many contracts. Talked to a lot of people. It took me some time um, to contact them back and say, yeah, let's do it. I signed the contract, and now he's my manager. It's Maurice, and yeah, he has a couple of fighters now. He broke off from I think it was the Jorge Masvidal's manager. He
Okay.
used to work for him under him, so he learned a
Interesting.
lot.
Interesting.
He
Oh, I
has connects
bet.
and stuff.
Look at the fights
And
he's
he
got
told
that
me,
guy.
yeah, he told me what he could provide for me and what he thought we could do, and I said, okay, let's do it. And he got to work right away. He contacted me. He said, LFA is looking for fighters. Go fight in Oklahoma. Would you take a fight?
Yeah,
But I wasn't ready. The whole
Yeah.
pandemic
Yep.
had me.
Because I know Sean
Okay.
Shelby. Most people know UFC matchmaker. Talked to your manager and told you not to book with LFA because something special is coming up, which was obviously Contender Series. Did you know it was Contender Series? Did you have any idea?
I didn't know if it was the Ultimate Fighter or Contender
Okay.
Series because at the time we didn't know what weight the Ultimate Fighter was going to be. I knew we knew it was coming back, but
Yeah.
my manager told me he talked to Sean Shelby and he told him, like don't have me fight an LFA or anything like that. Like we have something coming up.
Yeah.
And
Don't want to risk
shortly
it.
after, he told me it was the Contender Series, and he told me the date. But I was like, man, I wasn't too ready. I was I got the heaviest I had ever gotten.
Really?
Pandemic. I used it as an excuse, but I shouldn't even got that big. But yeah, I mean, I was working at the same time, so going to work. People bring donuts, people just everything, especially at the airport.
It's the
Like,
donuts,
and I'm not
man.
even a donut eater. Like bagels, donut, like everything that's possibly bad for you. They
Yeah.
bring it now, and yeah, so I let myself, get way too out of hand. I was at 210, 210. I'd never ever been that big in my life, and I was just like, holy cow! Like I got the call and it said 6 weeks. And I said, I gotta
do
I
something.
can't pass. I
P90X.
can't, yeah, something, man. I needed this. But I said, I can't let this opportunity pass me. Like, I have to just do whatever I can.
How long did it take you to get the weight off?
Man,
Till weigh
so
in?
at the end, we used till the very last second, to be honest. We got to, we dropped 35 pounds, I think, in
Interesting.
total. From
6
the
weeks.
date. Yeah.
Just think about Jorge
And-
Masvidal. He did 20 pounds in a week. I still can't
Yeah.
believe that. Sorry to interrupt you. I just had to bring. That's still insane.
No, it's crazy. But a lot of things that I don't know if you're too familiar with like weight cutting and stuff. A lot of people actually aren't because the more muscle you have, they think like, oh, you're gonna be heavier, but it actually retains a lot of more water, so it's easier for you to if you have less body fat percentage, it's easier for you to lose water weight.
Yep. My friend was a
so I-
physique bodybuilder in college, and I was there with his journey. He'll go up and down. You'll see him right after his competitions, right after he's done, he eats a burrito from Chipotle. He just fills out, dude. It's literally insane. Like you can see
It's
it
crazy.
in time.
It's
Like
crazy.
them, like actually just gaining everything back. It's gnarly.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, bodybuilders do that. A lot of physique competitors do that. Fighters, obviously, wrestlers. I mean, I never wrestled, so I never knew that the actual way of doing it. I know it's more scientifically now. There's a lot of science behind it, but yeah, it just I still had a lot of body fat on me, so I was just trying to trim down on that as fast as I could, most as I could, until I got to the weight cut week, which is you
Hmm.
water load, and then you cut.
Yep.
So I think the weight cut the week.
You there?
I,
1 second. Edson, I think you froze for a second.
um,
We'll get you. It'll fix itself out. Just give it a sec.
I missed weight. So, I
Can you hear us? I think you're coming back now. Almost there. There we go. You're back. All right. Start back from once you cut the water weight from there.
Oh yeah. I cut 13 pounds the weight cut. And I was at 174, and I could not. My body was just not sweating. I was already dehydrated. My face, mouth is just chalky. Um, it's just a horrible feeling, you know. And then you go in the sauna or in the hot bath, and it's like you said, it's super hot. And it's just burning your whole body. You get like heat exhaustion, like your body's just super fatigued.
Yep.
And you're not even sweating anymore. Like my body was just did not have any more water at all. Like I would go in the sauna, it would just burn. I wouldn't even start sweating, and I sweat pretty easily. So I knew I was super dehydrated. I didn't have any more water in me, and so we used up all the weight cutting time to the last second. So I was at 174, and so we just decided, like, we really can't even cut anymore. Like, even if we tried, tried
There's really nothing there to cut.
nothing. Like,
And
my
it's such
body
a
just had nothing
science
else
to
do.
get. And there's some boxers and fighters out there that are so good at it that can just do it without even thinking.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, yep, we
Yeah.
got 2 days. All right, blah 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 blah. Bring it down 10 pounds. We're good. And it's an art. It really is.
It is. It's definitely there's like a science. Or you gotta know your body as well. Cause like Paul Felder today,
Yeah.
he got late notice. He had to cut that weight.
Who was it
You can
again?
tell he's super dehydrated when he weighs in.
Who?
Paul Felder.
Oh yeah, Paul. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm gonna be getting into that once we're done with our interview. But yeah, only reason he took the fight is because he's been running a marathon. But then he like had to cut down extra hard on it. And man, he looks pretty good. This is the best I've seen Paul Felder with 5 days notice.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, man. This dude is a legend, the Irish Dragon, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, these guys, you got to give them respect, man.
You
No
do.
matter what, whether they go in there win or lose, it just takes so much.
Yeah.
I have so much new respect for every fighter, that has to cut weight.
Yep.
The heavyweights, I give them a little harder time because they don't really have to cut.
Yeah. They'll literally eat a
everybody else-
cheeseburger before they come into the octagon or right before they weigh in. They don't care. Like they're just there.
Yeah, must be.
Those
must
guys
be
are
nice to be big.
huge, man. So you fought on Dana White's Contender Series Week 8 against Ignacio Bahamondos. Unfortunately, you lost that fight via front kick. That kick went viral on social media, and some say it could be nominated for Knockout of the Year. Now, I have to ask you this. Does it feel weird being on the opposing side of that KO, or are you content with it knowing that's just how the sport goes? And just to remind people, this is the first time you've been knocked out in your career.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, I've been hit before. I've been dropped before. Practice probably more than in actual fights. But yeah, I mean, man, I was just so exhausted. And it feels, I know, and that's part of the game. It's part of the game. I don't take any hard feelings towards anybody. Social media, it's fun. Like, it's cool. Like, I read comments and I laugh too. I'm like, man,
That's good that you have a good spirit about it.
Yeah, not many people could say they're like, top ESPN. I mean, like, top of the.
You were.
Top 10.
You. You'll take it.
How many people? but I
I
can get
love
it.
it. I love it.
No,
That's
but
hilarious.
obviously it sucks. It sucks, especially on a big
Yeah.
stage like that.
Yeah.
Family, friends watching you. You know, millions of people watching, and it sucks, but it's part of the game. This is what we signed up for. You got to remind yourself every time you signed up for this. This is what you
Yeah.
want. Not everybody does it. Not everybody. Less
Exactly.
than 1% of the people are willing to step in there and do stuff like that. So it doesn't really bother me too
Yeah.
much. It sucks, but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take it for as a learning experience, and yeah, just go out there and try to make up for
Exactly.
that loss with
Exactly. I mean, you were
two more
looking
wins.
you were looking good in the fight before the kick. I mean, you were handling a lot of his shots. You showed off your chin. Um, did he just get? So I've seen the kick multiple times. Did he just get lucky? Because it looked like you were bringing your hand down to guard it, and it kind of slipped up in between the middle of your guard, and that just when it got you in the chin, just snapped your neck. Were you going for the block, or did you not even see it?
No, I did. I would see a lot of his shots, but my body just couldn't react. I was just so exhausted,
Yeah,
and
I saw you slunched over a little bit when he went for
yeah,
the
and
kick.
I
Yeah.
was just I was surprised I even made it out of the first, like, still breathing okay. Because I was just like the whole 6 weeks I was just taking it just to cut weight. Basically, I was
Mhm.
worried about my weight. We didn't work to I wasn't worrying about technique so much. We knew what he liked to throw. He loves to throw kicks a lot. Obviously, he's long, lanky. But every opponent that I fought is long,
Yeah.
and they got length on me, size on me. So that wasn't a problem. He wanted to throw kicks. I was just so tired, to be
Yeah.
honest. I would I would rather take a shot, but get like that second of rest than really like be too worried about it. I knew he threw a few knees. He hit me with some shots. I could see him coming, but I just couldn't react to him. Like I blocked some kicks.
Yeah.
He threw a lot of, but I was just thinking, when I would block a kick, I was thinking like, man, good thing that didn't hit me in the face. That would have been
You
bad.
can hear. I mean, that kid is
Uh,
is pretty damn good. I will give it to him. He has the length.
yeah,
He's quick. He's flexible. What I mean, he's got it. And that was a beautiful homage, I guess you can say, to Anderson Silva after he retired. I had Jared Vandera on here last week, and he was like, I blame not Adesanya, Silva for retiring for that kick being thrown.
yeah,
Because he
yeah.
probably
I
wouldn't have
meant that
watched
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how that worked out,
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It was a really good kick. I mean,
Yeah.
he was throwing that a lot before. He hit me in the body with a few of those like T kicks. Um, he throws them really good. He's long, but that one I was just like, honestly, I didn't feel like myself, and then like I was just hunched over with
Yeah.
my hands, kind of like I was trying to bring my body down to my hands
Yeah.
instead of my hands up to my
Yep.
guard.
Your head
And
kept bobbling up and down too, and
yeah,
that
I
kind of
knew that
time he
wrist
timed
was
it
there.
just yeah, yeah. It's
I knew that knee
unfortunate.
could come up at any time, kicks and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he threw it, landed.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
And it's great to
He's a
see you're a
better
good
man
sport
than
about it, because some people could come on here and just be like, "Nah, he got lucky. If I got him,
yeah.
it's great. You're cool about it, and that's awesome." In the end, even though you did not get the outcome you wanted, how was the experience on Contender Series for you?
Oh man, it was surreal. Like I was just being in the Apex Center prior, just shooting, and it's like wow, like I'm actually this is the UFC, like this is actually UFC media people interviewing me. They're actually editing this video. They're recording the pre-shoot, the pre-video, and just being there, seeing all the belts, all the Ultimate Fighter
Yeah, the jerseys when you walk into the
jerseys.
Apex with all the
It's
sign. I would love to
amazing.
see that, man.
I took video, and I'll always hold that dear, to my heart. And
Yep.
I grew up like I said, me and my friend would watch the show. We wouldn't miss any Ultimate Fighter shows. We wouldn't miss any UFC, and we used to just watch and be like, man, that would be so awesome. And
Yeah.
me actually being there, like it just brought back all of those memories and how it just all started.
Yeah.
The
That's
jerseys,
awesome.
the belts,
So
the
cool.
people. I mean, I bet Adesanya. I met
Yeah.
a lot of fighters.
Yeah, Adesanya was there. He was
Girl
there with what's his name? I forgot the guy's name.
with Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. From
yeah,
yeah, he's the next. They're saying the next prodigy out of City Kickboxing. And how is it meeting
Yeah.
Adesanya? What? How big is he technically when you look at him? He's pretty tall, isn't he?
Man, he's pretty tall. Yeah, my coach is like 6'2", and
Yeah.
I mean, I have a picture of us, and actually Adesanya took it, and yeah, he's just so tall. He's thin, but like they say, he's thin, but man, I never judge anybody's body type. You know, it could be.
You can hit, man.
Look at Anderson. Look at Adesanya. Look at Anderson Silva. Like these guys, you would see them on the street, you wouldn't know.
No,
People that don't watch them wouldn't think they fight.
Adesanya comes up to you in a hoodie and the line for a Cinnabon or something. You say one wrong thing, next thing you know, it's over, man. It's over.
Yeah, no, but he's cool people. I mean, he likes his fans, and we were on the same hotel. Being there quarantined, we have to get our temperature taken every day. So we all have to go to this trailer. UFC fighters and Contender Series fighters. So we would all see each other. Yeah. The hallways.
That's
Everybody
sick,
had
man.
their workout rooms.
That's
it was amazing, man. We would get we got treated so well. They're so professional.
That's the one thing with UFC. No matter what, no matter if you've had a good or bad experience, every person always says the UFC treated me well. And if it was something that was wrong, it was most likely something to do with not UFC related. But the UFC, they're phenomenal in taking care of their fighters and doing everything they can for them. And that's why I love the UFC for that. I really do.
Yeah, man. It's the greatest organization for mixed martial arts, you know.
Sure.
It's the NFL of martial arts, so that's where everybody wants to get, and just to be able to experience, part of it, getting picked up from the airport, like that was surreal, you know, somebody holding your name, or getting driven around to interviews and then bringing you groceries and it's crazy. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's amazing. It was a great experience. That's why I couldn't pass on it.
Yeah.
Whether I was ready or not, I just could not pass on this.
Yeah, I feel that. I really, really would love to come and see a Contender Series in person. I want to stay up in Dana's thing. I don't know if you know, Steve-O was there last week, this past Contender Series on Tuesday, and he did a whole video. And he was up in Dana's office, and Dana's office literally has this huge bar when you go out to the right, and then there's these two doors that open up, and it's just this balcony, and then it's the Apex Arena. And that's where Steve-O was chilling. But, yeah, it's so sick, man. It's just so nice, man. I would love to come out there and see one of those fights. It must be a surreal experience.
Yeah, the Apex Center where everybody fights, it's just a huge... It's a huge room, but it's got a lot of rooms upstairs that you can do your interviews. And they just have so many rooms. They have so much space. They have a whole state-of-the-art gym there with that's where we film the
previews. Yeah,
and so
I was watching Chelsea Hackett's Instagram story a couple days ago, and she was doing hers for next week, and they get some cool shots, man. They really do.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
All right, last question I have for you. Actually, a couple more questions. What can we expect from you, Edson Gomez, in the future?
I'm definitely gonna fight again. I just can't leave off on that. That's not the type of person I am. Yeah. So I want to get back in there. I want to hopefully I get a fight lined up soon. Definitely not get big. Stay fairly close to my weight. And hopefully. If King of the Cage has a fight, I could defend my belt, or I could go for the welterweight belt like they had planned. I'll fight LFA, I'll fight whatever. I'm planning to get back in there, hopefully get another shot at the Contender Series. I know there's a lot of people that have gone there twice. So
there's some people that have gone there three times. What's his name? He was just on there for the third time. Nicholas Mata. That was his third time there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Jordan
crazy.
Williams was on there 3 times. Yeah, some people come back and back and back, and they're getting wins. They're not ready yet.
Yeah, they're not ready. Yeah. I know I'll probably get 1 or 2 more wins with good fashion, and we'll see. We'll see what happens from there. I would love to be there again.
What about Ultimate Fighter? Have they already decided that? Do you know? I'm not that inside.
It's a different weight.
What weight is it? Do you know?
I know they're having middleweights, and I think some other weight, but
Okay.
it's gonna be 2 weights.
You heard anything about that while you were there? Any rumors that were being circulated?
Not really. They keep it amongst
Yeah.
themselves.
Because
They don't want anybody knowing.
yeah, I've heard some people say Colby and Jorge might be the coaches. That's what I keep hearing a lot, but I
That
don't
would be
know.
amazing.
That would be nuts, dude. And they have a fight
That
after.
would be that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would watch
But,
every episode over and over if it's Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be
Yeah, or
awesome.
even- yeah, there's a lot of fights that could line up, and
So many
it would be
fights.
amazing. But yeah, I mean, I did feel a little down. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe it's just I just gotta work full time and be that. That's it, you know. But you know what really got me going? Like, you know, I always get support from family and friends, but they don't really know what it takes, you know.
Yeah.
Too much. Some do that fight, but what really got me, you know, to think of getting back on the horse and just grinding hard again is Michael Bisping. He had
Really?
him and John Anik. They had really cool stuff to say, and they actually named me after the fight. Even though I lost, they saw something in me, you know,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that. Michael Bisping, those words he said after, you know, just get back on there, and that doesn't mean you're a bad fighter or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really meant something to me.
It
So.
could go either way in these fights, and that's why I on my platform with this podcast, I don't care if you lost. I don't care. It's such a in and out situation. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I want to hear what the fighter has to say, regardless of what the outcome was. And I think Bisping's on the same page with that. And I do hope you get another chance next year, possibly with Contender Series. And get a cover, or even before that, just come in, you know what I mean? Just get their attention some other way. But last question before I let you go. Who do you got tonight? Paul Felder on 5-day notice, or the former champ, Dos Anjos?
That was a tough one, but I would have to go with Dos Anjos. He's just been preparing for
understandable.
way longer, and I know what it takes. I mean, doesn't mean Paul Felder can't. Paul Felder is amazing.
Yeah.
He's got heart. He's got the ability to knock anybody out. You know.
Paul Felder won that
but I
Barbosa
think-
fight too, by the way. I just want to put that out there. he beat Edson Barbosa. He definitely won that fight, and they took it from him.
I think so too, but I think Dos Anjos will probably grapple with him a little bit more, take advantage that he took a late notice. That weight cut affects people like you wouldn't even know, you know.
Yep.
And so I think Dos Anjos is gonna mix it up a little bit, grapple with him, and get him tired and come out with the victory.
Awesome. All right. Well, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to shout out before you go?
No, I appreciate you having me on here. No, just I just wanted to put out there, you know, Michael Bisping, he had me, he pumped me up.
That's awesome.
Just hearing it from like a legend like him, I'm definitely gonna hear his advice and take it and run with it, you know.
That's awesome. I'm glad you are.
I think I might start training with Bobby Green too, because he's kind of close
nice.
to me. So I
Heck
think
yeah, that'd be
you know
cool.
I got something different, and I gotta step it up and go with where people are gonna push me.
Yeah.
Or beat up, you know, in practice.
For sure. Yeah, well, let me know whenever you got a fight coming up. I'd love to shout it out. I'd love to watch it. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Edson Gomez. Appreciate talking to you as always.
Appreciate
thanks, man. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Edson Gomez. Thanks for coming on, man. Great fighter. Hope good things for him here in the future. And hope he gets another chance here eventually to get into the UFC. All right, now on to some news. First off, Glover versus Thiago Santos. Man, has Glover done enough to convince Dana White to give him a title shot against Jan? Over Adesanya, the 41-year-old veteran is on a 4-fight win streak and wants that gold bad. Dana, after the fight, replied to ESPN, said, "I heard him, I agree with him, and I'm taking him serious." Dana also said, "I'm not going to doubt this guy anymore." Very interesting to see Dana's stance on that. I'm kind of up in the air. I think Glover deserves his shot, but I think Adesanya versus Jan would be ridiculous. So I kind of got to stick with the Adesanya fight, unfortunately. That's what I'm pushing for. All right, on to Connor, on Tyron Woodley. Connor recently tweeted, currently watching Woodley Wonderboy 1 on BT Sports. I should have went for that trouble real quick pre-Floyd. All well, the game is still young. McGregor is referring to a fight that he was going to have with Tyron Woodley, but instead he fought Mayweather. Connor, if he would have won that fight and received and won that fight from Woodley back then, he would have became a triple champ, and that would have been insane in UFC. We've never had a triple champ. We have double champs, but he would have been a triple champ. And then Tyron Woodley comes back and tweets, shoulda, woulda, wouldn't have, all cap. He could have had a better comeback, to be honest with you. But like I said, McGregor would have been the first fighter to win 3 UFC titles before he would have fought Floyd Mayweather, but instead he fought Floyd Mayweather, skyrocketing his stardom, making him a buttload of money. So in the end, I think it was probably a good decision on his part. So yeah, I think he'll get over it. But this comes on the wake of Conor McGregor's 205 appearance, UFC 205 appearance, where he defeated Alvarez to become the first UFC double champ. And we all know the notorious words from that day. I want to take this chance to absolutely apologize to nobody. And that's when the king was really born, I think, in my eyes. Was that interview with Joe Rogan. All right. On to Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards stated he's going to smash Dana's boy in regards to Khamzat. Leon said, that was my thinking going into this. The UFC loves him. Dana loves him. They all think he can't be beat. When I go out there and take him out, I can't see why they can't say to give me a title shot next. I'll be on a 9-fight win streak. I believe this was the fight to make, and now here we are. I know the UFC's probably banking Dana anyway. I know he's praying that this kid wins, but I'll be way too much for him. I'm telling you. This is exactly how it feels. Edwards says, Dana, I'm going to smash your boy. I cannot wait. It's going to be a very good night come December. Leon Edwards is currently ranked number 3. Edwards versus Khamzat will be the final fight of 2020 in December. Very, very, very hyped about that fight. Cannot wait. And again, on to some non-MMA related news. Terrence Bud Crawford will put his undefeated record and world title on the line Saturday night when he takes on former world title holder Kell Brook at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Crawford, who is 36-0 with 27 KOs, is regarded as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters of his generation. The WBO World Welterweight Champion switches stances, fights on the outside and toe-to-toe with ease. Excellent timing, a knack for dismantling his opponent's game plan, and he has an incredible success at every level he's fought at. At 33 years old, he's hoping he can soon line up some of the biggest fights of his career. If he wins this fight, they're in talks probably for Pacquiao or Errol Spence Jr., but we know Pac-Man most likely will be fighting Conor McGregor next year, sometime early next year. But yeah, just something to look forward to. You got UFC on tonight, and after that, they usually wait until UFC's over to do their main event for the boxing. So right after the UFC main event with Dos Anjos and Paul Felder, just go ahead and turn it to the Terrence Crawford fight, and it should be starting around that time. Just to let you guys know. All right, on the Dana White's Contender Series, I don't want to get too into this, but I'll go ahead and name the winners. First fight, Danny Sabatello. He won via unanimous decision against Taylor Moore. Then you got Luana Pinheiro against Stephanie Frastro, I believe it is. Luana won via TKO punches in the first round. And then you got Nicholas Mata, which we were just talking about. Unanimous decision, 3 rounds. Dana White did give him a contract also. I believe Luana got a contract also. And then Nathan Levy beat Shaheen Santana via arm triangle in the 3rd round. He got a contract also. And then Mario Sosa, Dana White said that Mariza actually won this fight and the judges got it wrong. And Mario Sosa did not get a contract, even though he won unanimous decision in that fight. Great fights on the Contender Series, as always. We have 1 week left this season for Season 4, next Tuesday, and that's it. It's all done until next year. Then we have the Ultimate Fighter coming up, of course. All right, let's break down this fight card. I do want to mention the third fight of the night, Julianne Marquez versus Saparbek Safrova, has been canceled. I am unsure. I think it's weight cut issues. But yeah, that bout has been canceled. All right, so first fight of the night, we got Eric Anders versus Antonio Aurora. Anders is coming into this matchup with a loss recently back in May in a decision. Excuse me. 4 out of his 5 losses have been all by decision. He's 13-5. He has 8 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, 4 by decision, and he has 7 first-round finishes. Anders is not an easy man to beat. He's largely proven impossible to take down. He's incredibly tough and hits like a truck. Assuming Anders is fighting well, it takes a certain level of finesse or expertise to really handle ya boy, as they call him. And I'm not sure Arroyo is that guy. Antonio Arroyo is 9-3. He suffered his first UFC loss back in November 2019, and this will be his first fight since. He has 4 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, and 1 by decision, and 7 of his 9 victories so far are first-round finishes. Anders is a frustrating fighter, and I say that he has a major athletic ability. He's arguably a great fighter at southpaw. He's a slugger. He has the power. That's pretty much it. He's trying to improve his technique and become more well-rounded, but sometimes that equates to not throwing enough punches and shooting for bad takedowns. I'm going to go ahead and get my picks as I go through these fights. I'm not going to go back and do it. So for this fight, my takeaways are both of these fighters are coming off a tough decision loss. They also have a similar fighting style, I would say. But in this bout, it's most likely to come down to who puts out a better performance for a decision, and I think Eric Anders will do that, and he will win via decision. All right, on to Kay Hansen versus Corey McKinnon. Women's strawweight. Kay Hansen is 7-3-0. Hansen is currently on a 4-fight winning streak heading into this matchup. Her most recent bout was a submission win back in June against Yin Yufrey. She has 2 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, and 1 by decision. She has been able to end the fight early in the first round via submission in her last fight, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know if I have that stat correct. But her most recent win was also in her octagon debut in the UFC, which was her last fight. Hansen has a 5-inch reach advantage over McKenna, but she is likely to have a game plan of shooting in for the early takedown, maintaining position, and setting up a submission attempt. Her opponent is Corey the Hobbit McKenna. McKenna is currently on a 3-fight winning streak coming into this bout. Her most recent victory is in August with a decision over Crystal Vanessa Dimopoulos. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if I mispronounced that. She has 2 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 2 by decision. She also has 2 first-round finishes via knockout. Her most recent win was also her UFC debut in the octagon. McKenna has great jiu-jitsu, and she is well-rounded, and is only getting sharper and sharper training with Team Alpha Male and with Olympian wrestler Sarah McMahon. She has a great record, and we will see if she's a force to be reckoned with. Both of these fighters have had an excellent UFC debut and look to continue the streak. They match well on paper, so this should be a great matchup. McKenna, she appears to be more aggressive as a striker, but I think Hansen has more potential to end this fight sooner than letting it go the distance where McKenna would probably take over at that point. So I'm going to go Hansen wins via decision if she can put enough pressure on her in the first round. That's my call. All right, co-main event: Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Colleen Williams. Abdul is 10-2-0, and this is a welterweight bout, by the way. Abdul is coming off a decision loss back in July against Mounir Lesles. He had previously been on a 3-fight winning streak. He has all 10 of his wins coming by knockout. Not only that, but every single one of those knockouts have ended in the first round. Abdul throws tremendous power, and he looks to end his opponents inside the opening couple minutes, usually. There's a very established path to success for him, which involves surviving the opening 5 minutes and capitalizing on his fatigue later in the fight. That's the only way you can probably beat Abdul. His opponent, Colleen Williams, the Ox fighter, at 10-2. Williams is coming into this fight with a 7-fight winning streak. His most recent victory was a knockout back in February. He has 5 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 4 by decision. Out of his 10 wins, he has 4 first-round finishes with a combination of knockouts and submissions. William likes to trade hooks. He also digs low kicks and wrestles occasionally, but only power shots were needed to knock out Morono in 27 seconds. Williams is tough and has yet to be finished, but otherwise there's really nothing about his game that fits the path. My takeaways: both these fighters have had great success ending in the first round. Abdul is deadly on his feet. His stand-up is rather poor. It has been, but it's just so up in the air, to be honest with you. And for that reason, I'm going to have to go with the Ox fighter, Colleen Williams, via decision. Overall, this will be a close fight, but I think Williams will be able to outperform Abdul, who's also known as Juto Thunder. All right, on to the main event of the evening. Wow. Just wow. Paul Felder versus Rafael Dos Anjos at lightweight. Paul Felder, the legend, is 17-5-0. Paul Felder continues to stun people and to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to just showing his true grit as a UFC fighter. He is taking this fight on a 5 days notice to replace Islam Makhachev, who was ruled out of the match due to a staph infection. Felder was supposed to call the fights tonight, but instead will be competing. Felder says he was able to take the fight because he is currently training for a marathon. The 35-year-old is walking into the octagon with a professional record of 17-5. This is his second bout in 2020, with the first at the UFC Fight Night 168, where Dan Hooker defeated the Irish Dragon by unanimous decision. And before that fight, Felder's last win happened in September 2017 at UFC 242, where he defeated Edson Barbosa by unanimous decision for the first 2 wins in 2019. His last 4 bouts have been decided by judges. The Irish Dragon is a competitive striker who can also grapple when he needs to in the octagon. Felder lands 3.67 strikes per minute with 43% striking accuracy. He also absorbs 3.4 strikes per minute, while his defense is at 49%. As for grappling, the Philadelphia native, he has 0.25 takedown average per 15 minutes and 25% takedown accuracy in general. His opponent, Dos Anjos, is set to return to the 155-pound division after a 4-4 run at welterweight that included an unsuccessful tilt at the interim 170-pound title. Dos Anjos is 29-13. The Brazilian returns to the division that saw his claim to his greatest moments in the UFC. Dos Anjos is coming into the Apex with a professional record, as I said, 29-13. He's 36-year-old Brazilian. Last fought earlier this year in January at UFC Fight Night 166, where the Southpaw lost to Michael Chiesa by unanimous decision. After that match, Dos Anjos was scheduled to fight Islam Makhachev at UFC 254 on October 24th, but that bout was scratched a few weeks prior because Dos Anjos tested positive for coronavirus. That fight between Dos Anjos and Makhachev was supposed to be rescheduled for November 14th, as we know tonight, but Makhachev dropped out a couple days due to the staph infection. And here comes Paul Felder to save the day, as I'll say. But Dos Anjos' last win happened at Fight Night 152 in May of 2019, where he defeated Kevin Lee in round 4 by submission using an arm triangle choke. He's an aggressive fighter who uses grappling to his advantage. Over his career, he has 1.82 takedowns per 15 minutes in the octagon and a takedown accuracy of 39%. He lands 3.47 strikes per minute with an accuracy of 45%. The 36-year-old Southpaw also absorbs fewer strikes than Felder at 3.18 and defends them better at 62%. Interesting stat my friend sent me. Dos Anjos is 13-2 across his 15 UFC fights in which he has not been taken down. Let me read that again. Dos Anjos is 13-2 across the 15 UFC fights in which he has not been taken down. Now, this is a big thing because Paul Felder averages 0.25 takedowns and landed 15. He averages 0.25 takedowns landed per 15 minutes. So we're going to have a little trouble there, I think. Dos Anjos going to lightweight. He was 14-7 at lightweight with 6 finishes, 6 bonuses, and he was 4-4 with 2 finishes, 1 bonus at welterweight. He's been at welterweight since June of 2017, and now he's making his way back in this fight against Paul, the Irish Dragon Felder. One thing that is certain from a stylistic standpoint is that the expectations for violence remain huge for this fight. While both are dirt tough, Dos Anjos has proven to be a higher caliber fighter at his peak. Just how far removed from the peak will he be on fight night certainly remains unknown. But I got to believe in the magic. I got to believe in the Irish Dragon. I have to have faith in Paul Felder. I'm picking Paul Felder via decision. I know a lot of people are going to be thinking I'm crazy, but just watch. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. All right, I think that's it for me today. Thank you, Edson Gomez, for coming on the show today. And also, as I said before, support for Pound comes from Manscaped.com. Save 20% off plus free shipping with the code Pound at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code Pound at Manscaped.com. All right. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the fights tonight. And we'll see you next week. See ya.